Islanders, grab your nearest black gown and gavel. You are the judge and the jury today as two sisters are suing Carnival Corporation. They sailed in 2016 on board a Princess Cruises ship and they got sick. Uncontrollable vomiting is what they're claiming. Explosive diarrhea. We always hate the explosive kind of diarrhea. We hate all diarrhea, do we not? They're suing Carnival Corporation. Sailed in 2016. They're suing now because of an outbreak of neurovirus. It wasn't something they ate, something they did. It was neurovirus. We're going to share their claims on the show today. You'll be the judge and the jury. You'll have an opportunity to weigh in as well. We're also sharing news from Carnival on their ever so popular Carnival Journeys cruises. We all need some time in the islands. Let's go there now on Island Time. A big happy Tuesday to all you Islanders. We hope that you're having a great Tuesday. We certainly are. We are on Island Time. I am Derek. Right now, collectively, let's drop our anchors and take some time to relax in the islands together. I hope that none of you are suffering from explosive diarrhea. We're going to talk about that on the show today, but we hope that you're having a good day. We're going to catch you up on the latest in cruising and cruise news. We know that you like to stay up to date with that. If you're not subscribed to this channel, which over 60% of viewers are not subscribers, we invite you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Ring that bell to receive notifications when we upload content. We also have an announcement for all of you who are cruising with us on the Carnival Jubilee, their inaugural sailing December the 23rd of this year. We're going to have our monthly group call tomorrow. We will send out that Zoom link so all of us connect. We can talk about the Carnival Jubilee and our group cruise together. Look forward to that this evening. Let's talk about this court case. Everybody get the black robe on, get your gavel out. Okay, you're going to see this through the eyes of the jury. You're going to see it through the eyes of the judge as we share the details with you together. These are some fine details, so I'm going to look down some in the show today to make sure that we share the exact details with you. Here is the gist of the stories here. Here's a summary of the story. Two sisters sailed on board the Sun Princess from December the 5th through the 18th of 2016. They had planned this cruise together. They were looking forward to this cruise. It was a longer cruise, a 13-day cruise, one that cost some money they were excited for. Their claim is, these two sisters, they were not able to enjoy the majority of their cruise because they became sick on board with neurovirus. Here's the interesting fact as we start this story. Carnival Corporation owns Princess Cruises. Carnival Corporation sold the Sun Princess, the old Sun Princess, in 2020. This incident that we're talking about that took place in 2016. So the court case that we're talking about, I'll share all the dates with you. The court case, the events of this case took place in 2016. Carnival Corporation sold the ship in 2020, and now this lawsuit is coming about. The first lawsuit were filed by these sisters in December of 2022. They made their claims. We'll share some of those claims with you here in a second. But December 2022, they said, here's what we got. An Australian court threw all the claims out the window, said no. The sisters were not done. They are back at it now. They have a new claim that was filed August 18th of this year. This is 2023. They're filing a claim that happened in 2016 over uncontrollable vomiting and explosive diarrhea. What triggered that? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. In the new lawsuit, Miss Phillips, last name Phillips, and there's no relation, as far as I know, no relation here, is accusing Carnival Corporation of mishandling multiple outbreaks on 8 cruises from December of 2016 through February of 2017. So we're talking here, 7 years ago? This happened 7 years ago. Both of these sisters experienced sudden, and this is a quote from the filing, sudden and uncontrollable diarrhea and vomiting on the bed, the carpet floor, and their clothes. Okay, we get the picture here. We don't want to get the picture, but somehow, some way, we have the picture in our minds of the vomiting and diarrhea. The claim also shares that about 339 other passengers experienced similar symptoms on board. 13 crew members experienced those same symptoms on board, and they contracted the neurovirus by the end of the 13-day cruise. When you do the math, 339 passengers, 13 crew members, that equates to about 1%. 1% of everyone that was on board the Sun Princess. That's not bad, okay? But there were people who were sick during that time. We know that it was tough, and we hope, of course, that they're better 7 years later. One thing I'll point out is this is set up to be a class action lawsuit where dozens or hundreds of these 339 other passengers could join this lawsuit if they want to, if they have flashbacks to the explosive diarrhea and they want to join the class action lawsuit, they sure can do so. There's also a claim in the filing that says this: the conditions inside our cabin were terrible. If you're throwing up, if you have explosive diarrhea, yes, the conditions inside your cabin are terrible. But one of the claims here that the sisters are saying is that we were never offered a new cabin when we had vomit on the floor. We had diarrhea on the floor. We couldn't make it to the bathroom. We were never offered a new cabin. We had to sit there and live in and smell and be with bodily fluids. I hate that term. I hate that term. But we had to sit there and be with bodily fluids. That's part of the claim. Lawyers in this case, they are sharing that Carnival should have alerted the passengers of this outbreak. They should have done more about this outbreak. They should have given options for passengers to cancel their cruise, for them not to have to go on their cruise. How could they prevent this outbreak from happening on board? Carnival said in court submissions, a response, that the chance of norovirus outbreak is small. They also said, and this is direct here, merely an ordinary risk inherent in activities where people congregate. And that's true. It happens from time to time. We've seen actually an increase of it in 2023. What do these sisters want? What's the class action lawsuit going to do? The sisters, they're seeking a full refund in 2023 of their cruise in 2016 of $1,609 plus damages for the inconvenience, distress, and disappointment 7 years later. That's what they're wanting, and there could be other people that join this lawsuit. Now, do they have a claim? Do they have a claim here? Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the conditions in that cabin were terrible, right? They were. They're awful. They're terrible. I've never been on a cruise, thankfully, where there was a norovirus outbreak, but I know it's terrible. It's awful. And maybe they should have received a new cabin if there's one on board, but then you're going to dirty up a second cabin, right? You're going to have help cleaning up the cabin that you're in. I hope that everyone's better now, 7 years later. But I think about this and I think about the agreement that all of us as cruisers, as passengers, we agreed to. We agreed to a contract, and it is a lengthy contract, dozens and dozens of pages, upwards of almost 100 pages. When you check into your cruise line and you go to cruise, you're agreeing to so much stuff. I hope that you have taken a look at that one time or another. But there's all kinds of legalities. There are lawyers that have woven through this thing, and there are court decisions that have been made, and Carnival Cruise Line, Carnival Corporation, and others, they will put things in there when decisions are made to protect them in the future. Section 5, Public Health and COVID-19 Practices and Procedures, Understanding the Acceptance of Risk. This is in the cruise contract, the current cruise contract, okay? These contracts, they've changed since 2016. Here's what's in here now. You agree to this when you cruise. The guest or other guest may be exposed to communicable illness, including but not limited to COVID-19, influenza, colds, and norovirus. Guests further understand and accept that due to the nature of the spread of COVID-19, the risk of exposures to these communicable illnesses and others is inherent. It is inherent in most activities where people interact or share common facilities and beyond Carnival's control. This is in the ticket contract, and cannot be eliminated under any circumstance. Guest knowingly and voluntarily accepts these risks as part of this ticket contract, including the risk of serious illness or death arising from such exposures and or all related damages, loss, cost, expenses of any nature whatsoever. Talk about protection. Talk about explosive. You're agreeing to that. When you sign that ticket contract, knowingly and voluntarily accepts these risks, serious illness or death. That's just one thing that you're agreeing to. What caused this lawsuit to be filed first off in December of 2022, then pushed back, and now, again, this month, it's resubmitted. 7 years later. I don't know. It's a trigger. What could have triggered? Maybe another episode of explosive diarrhea from the local Chinese buffet, and they thought, I need to rewind to 2016. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I looked for that, but I wonder what it was. You've got the robe on. You've got the gavel. Time to make a decision. Should Carnival be held responsible for these damages, these claims that took place in 2016, 2017 by these sisters in what could be a growing case of clients? Should Carnival be held responsible, not just in this case, but other cases in neurovirus? Do you think the sisters have a claim in this case? Let us know, Judge. Your comments, your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope that none of you are suffering from uncontrollable vomiting or explosive diarrhea while you're watching this video. Let's end and change the topic here, talking about Carnival Journeys cruises, the wildly successful program that launched in 2015, where Carnival said, we're going to change our product offering just a little bit. We're going to start to offer longer cruises. We're going to start to offer these cruises where we throw back and we offer some of the things that we used to offer, different menus and midnight buffets and activities and fun and games. And there were many that were excited about that, but some wondered, what all can the Carnival do here? You know, how long will this program stay around? Will it be something short? Will it be something that will carry on into 2023, 8 years later? Here we are talking about this program. And people love this program. And we recently just took a Carnival Journeys cruise that I will talk about here in just a second. But Carnival is sharing that this program has been very popular. Over 330,000 guests have sailed on a Carnival Journeys cruise since 2015, and Carnival expects that number to rise. They share that there is a great demand for cruisers that are longer than 7 or 8 days. People want the 10, 12, 15, 29, 31-day cruises. They want those, and Carnival's doing everything they can to make those offerings available more often. They're doing a good job at it, matter of fact. Some new ones just offered in 2025 that we've been booking our clients on for the last week now. Over 85 cruises have already been released that are part of this Carnival Journeys program. I remember when there were just a handful at a time. Now over 85 of these are released, and that should sell over 230,000 people through 2025. Let me ask you this. Have you taken one of these cruises before? Have you taken one of these longer cruises? We took the transatlantic on the Carnival Venezia from Barcelona, Spain, which was beautiful. I would take a sangria right now, the red sangria, please. To New York City, we had an absolute blast. What a way to see the world, to see many different countries, to see different continents. We saw 3 different continents on that trip. And we just had an absolute blast. The cost per day is usually low. Yes, there's airfare involved. You may think it's too big of a trip to plan, but we can help you with it. I promise you, we've been to Europe several times. We can help you with these Carnival Journeys cruises. We had an absolute blast. We had 6 sea days on the big crossing of the Atlantic Ocean. And many people say 6 sea days is too much. I could not do that. We enjoyed it. And as a matter of fact, the 6 sea days went by way too fast. If you can imagine, way too fast. How many sea days could you do in a row? And let me ask you this. How many days could you spend on board a cruise ship? Take work out of the equation. Take vacation time, paid time off out of the equation. If you weren't obligated to go to work, how many days, really, could you spend on a cruise ship? Some people say all I can do is 7. 7 or 8, that's all I can do. Some people say, yeah, I could do a couple of weeks. Could you do a month? There are month-long cruises. Of course, other cruise lines offer cruises that are well over 100 days. How many days could you spend on a cruise ship? Let us know that in the comment section below. We hope that you have a Carnival Journeys cruise or a Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Disney, Princess, MSC, some cruise booked, and we hope, too, that you don't get the explosive diarrhea, the uncontrollable vomiting. Get your trip insurance, just in case, right? We can't wait to see your thoughts, your comments in the comment section below. We hope you enjoy the cruise news today. If so, like the show. We'll, of course, see you in the comment section on Facebook and tomorrow right here on Island Time.